Does it ever feel like your head is just a little too heavy for your neck? Like if you don't support it with your hand while you're sitting at your desk, it might just give way and collapse. Maybe you have this bad habit of readjusting your neck and cracking it left and right, because it seems like no matter what you do, your neck feels tight and loose at the same time, and cracking it's the only short relief that you get. If this sounds like you, you're not crazy and you're not just stressed. You are more than likely suffering from cervical ligament laxity. Today, we're going deep on the science of your loose neck. I'm going to show you why your cervical ligaments are like overstretched rubber bands, why cracking your neck is actually making the problem worse, not better, and the specific clunk test that would explain if your top two cervical bones are contributing to the problem by slipping in and out of place. Your skeletal system has two main systems of support, the muscular system and the ligamentous system. The muscular system is going to connect two bones so that they can move at the joint, whereas your ligamentous system is going to hold two bones together so that they don't move too far. Since muscles are contractile filaments, meaning that they're able to lengthen and shorten on command, they also have a high energy demand, meaning that they need oxygen, they need nutrients, and as a result they have a lot of vascular tissue to support those nutrients to the muscle. This not only allows them to do their job, but it also allows them to heal remarkably fast. Since ligaments aren't contractile, they don't have the same nutrient demands. They don't need as much oxygen. They don't need as much energy. And this is fine until they get injured. Because if they don't have blood and oxygen, then if they do get torn or even just overstretched, it takes a lot longer for them to heal. In your spine, we have two primary ligaments that run along the front of the bodies and along the spinous processes along the back of your vertebral column. And in a whiplash injury, those ligaments get stretched so quickly that it actually exceeds that elastic limit of those ligaments. So as your head whips both backwards after the initial impact and then forward, both of those ligaments get overstretched and those bones become unstable. Your brain senses this micro instability, and what it does to protect your central nervous system is it sends all those other muscles into spasm that stabilize the joint. But here's the thing, if the deep cervical stabilizers, which are built for endurance, aren't firing correctly, then the only muscles that can fire are going to be your big muscles, predominantly your trap muscles and in some cases your jaw muscles. And those muscles aren't built for endurance. They're built to move you a handful of times and then take a break. So when they're constantly contracted, this is what gives you that sense of feeling really tight on the outside, but really weak and unstable deep inside your spine. What most people's instinct is to do is to self-adjust, because this gets you a little bit of relief, it gets you a quick rush of endorphins, and for 3 to 5 minutes you feel so much better until that pain comes back with a vengeance, and everything is so much tighter than 5 minutes ago before you cracked your own neck. Why this happens is because most of the time when people crack their own neck, they do one of these. They push on their chin and something in their neck moves. And if you think about it, the first thing that's going to pop is going to be the easiest thing to pop. Because you're not putting any specific pressure on a particular joint, it's just anything that can move is going to move. And what that does is it reinforces a weakness in your neck. The most unstable joint starts moving more, which then sends a signal to your brain, hey, for some reason, despite your best efforts, things are still moving too much. You should tighten up more. And then we get this beautiful cycle where you adjust your neck, the muscles get tighter, you adjust your neck, the muscles get tighter, so that those loose joints become more and more loose, and the tight muscles get tighter and tighter. It's like a less fancy circle of life. And it's why most of the time if you come to the office and you tell me that you adjust yourself, I'm not going to get mad at you, but it is one of those things that makes both of our lives a little more difficult. Now to fix this, the first thing we need to do is stop moving anything that will move. We need to focus specifically on what joints aren't moving properly and also tension those joints that are moving too much. But secondly, we want to see if you actually are struggling with instability. And that's why we're going to walk you through a modified Sharp-Purser test, which is going to be checking for instability at the top of your cervical spine. Now, what you're going to do is a little bit weird to be doing with yourself. Normally you do this with a physician, but since you're at home, what you're going to do is take your index finger and thumb, and you are going to place those right at the first bony prominence in your neck. And it'll be about an inch below the base of your skull. And you're just going to put a little bit of pressure from the back to the front at that vertebra. Second thing is you're going to take your other free hand, you're going to place it on your forehead, and gently, emphasis on gently, because we're checking for instability. The last thing we want to do is shove something that's already having problems. Push against your forehead while putting a little bit of pressure on that first vertebra that you feel in your neck. And what we're looking for is to see if you feel anything like a clunk in your neck, or maybe a pop, oddly enough, at the back of your throat. You might notice something like your heart rate increases, or that your vision changes. And now, yes, that is kind of a crazy array of possible symptoms, but again, we are messing with your central nervous system if we have instability in that upper cervical spine. So to have something like a change in your vision or your heart rate, or just to feel something mechanical like a shift in the bones, is to be expected. Now, if you are getting a positive on any of those symptoms, then what it does suggest is that you have ligament laxity of the transverse ligament, because we're pushing forward on your C2, and then we're pushing back on your head, and your atlas is going to move backwards with it. So that's your C1 and your C2 vertebra. And if we have laxity of those ligaments, we've got a bunch of things that we need to be concerned about, because the first thing we need to do is stabilize that joint. But then secondly, we need to be aware of variables that might be coming from that C1 vertebra. If it's rotated or not shifting forward and back properly, it can put pressure on your vagus nerve, which is going to incorporate a lot of parasympathetic functions, your rest and digest. And that might be presenting itself as rapid breathing, rapid heart rate, nausea, dizziness, irritability, or brain fog. Here's the kicker though, because like I said at the beginning of the video, ligaments don't have a great blood supply, which means they don't heal super fast, and even when they do heal, like a rubber band, once you overstretch them, they don't like to go back to their original length. So what can we do? Well, the first thing that we can do is increase the strength and stability of the muscles at the base of your skull to fire and hold. And one of the easiest things that you can do that we've talked about previously on this channel is to do the cervical nod. All that is sit up straight, chin pulled back, think about being a puppet on a string, and very small nod. You're going to pull your chin down and hold that for 6 to 10 seconds, 5 to 10 repetitions. And for a lot of people, this is when you want to go back to high school and be a gym class hero and work through the pain. We're working on stability. Do not work through the pain. The second it starts to become agitating, I want you to go ahead and quit performing that exercise, because the more you irritate something that's already weak and unstable, the more we're going to increase that instability, the more you're picking the scab. And since we're talking about picking a scab, we also need to consider healing that scab. Since ligaments do not get a lot of blood supply, they also don't get a lot of nutrients, which is why taking the right nutrients is going to be a big part of the process with getting them to heal. Types 1 and 2 collagen are going to be great, whether you've had this injury for a long period of time or it just happened, because type 2 collagen will help with acute injuries and ligament remodeling, but type 1 is going to give that new tissue, that scar tissue that'll form in the ligament, more tensile strength. And we're going to need that for long-term stability. Additionally, vitamin C, you can get that from oranges, lemon juice, or if you want to supplement with it, but vitamin C helps to stabilize the bonds that make collagen fibers in ligaments and tendons whenever they heal. So those two supplements, type 1 and 2 collagen and vitamin C, are going to be critical for you to heal that overstretched ligament. With the exercises and the supplementation, essentially what we are trying to do is increase the strength of the muscles that reinforce those ligaments, and then making sure that ligament, while it might not be as perfect as it used to be back when you were 18 and spry, it'll be as close to perfect as we get it because we're giving it the nutrients it needs to recover fully. Additionally, if you need more resources, go ahead and follow the link down in the description because that's going to take you to all of the free resources that I've made for this channel, specifically for whiplash injury recovery. That'll be everything from exercises you should be doing, supplements you can be taking, and also resources for you to get better imaging from your doctor to see if you don't have a bone fracture, a ligament tear, or hypermobility related to ligament laxity that's missed on regular x-rays or MRIs. Finally, if you want a structured path to recovery, go ahead and check out the Whiplash Recovery Blueprint, because that's going to include everything from day one after an accident to your final days navigating a grocery store and driving through heavy traffic, how we can get your neck to relax, strengthen the deep cervical muscles in your neck, and also get your eyes, ears, and your upper cervical muscles to communicate so that you can navigate your life safely and happily. But if you're thinking to yourself, Dr. Beck, I've done all this stuff before, and actually the last time I went to my doctor, he said that I had military neck or I had lost the curve in my cervical spine. That's fine. Stay tuned for the next video coming up because we're going to show you what causes that military neck and also safe exercises that you can do to get your neck back to where it's supposed to be without straining those muscles or running the risk of re-injury. So stay tuned. I'm Dr. Beck, and I will see you in the next video.